The mood is electrifying. The India is getting united. It is not really the religion. It is really the spirit of celebration. It is the spirit of celebration which is galvanizing the entire world. The countdown has started, and Pran Pratishtha, as we call it, will be less than 3 hours away. Look at the countdown, less than 2 hours, 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Well, it's not a new temple. It is not a new city. It is about how Indians in future would actually be traveling. And when it comes to understanding trends, joining the dots, creating value for the shareholder, and also really understanding the essence of Indian traveler, there is one company which always has been epitome in really taking care of their customers. In this case, I would say the word guests, and understanding the need of Indian traveler, and that is India's Taj, Indian Hotel. And Indian Hotel is also going to be expanding their wings in the holy city of Ayodhya. The CEO and Managing Director of Indian Hotel, Mr. Puneet Chhatwal, joins us live on this very special and auspicious day. Good morning, Mr. Chhatwal. Thank you for joining us. Or I would say not good morning, but Jai Shri Ram first.
Jai Shri Ram, Nikunj. Thank you. Always nice to speak with you.
And we also have Ms. Shilpa Shoryawala, Director of KMB Vyapar. So Shilpa ji, a very warm welcome to you. Jai Shri Ram. It's your first time on ET now. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Chhatwal, Indian men are often criticized for not being chivalrous. So let me start with the lady first in terms of my first question. Shilpa, your family has presence in Ayodhya, but the fact that you've tied up with the best in the league, or I would say the best in the world hotel chain, which is Indian Hotel. How did you what prompted you to go ahead with this, with the tie-up?
I feel IHCL understands the need of the Indian traveler, how you said. They will understand the spirituality of Ayodhya. They will understand the religious feeling of Ayodhya. It's not just a commercial thing for them, but they understand how the people want to feel over there. And being from Ayodhya, I brought up everything in Ayodhya. So I thought this was the best brand who could understand the sentiments of Ayodhya.
So, Mr. Chhatwal, this is stage one of Indian hotels expanding their operations in Ayodhya. Is this just the first step in a new beginning for Indian hotels and for the Taj brand in Ayodhya?
Yes, we did sign a Vivanta and a Ginger earlier. So in early part of last year, where the construction is yet to commence. On the project that we have signed with the Vyapar group headed by Shilpa, the construction is already underway. So up to third floor is already built. So this will be the first one to open. And we are still looking for an ideal fit for the Taj brand because Taj being the crown jewel of India, we cannot just do any property as Taj. So ideally, we would like to go to Ayodhya with a Taj palace positioning because it's not just, as I said, not just for India. It's like a temple of hospitality for the world. So all in all, yes, we are very excited. And Nikunj, I don't think we should understate that through all our brands, we are present in 66 locations, 66 spiritual locations in India, of which more than 45 destinations are covered, getting very close to 50 already, and with multiple brands, whether it's a Katra or it's a Tirupati or it's a Banaras, and very soon, as I said, Ayodhya too. So if you start your journey at Pilibhit House in Haridwar to Anant Kashi, again on the Ganges to Taj Rishikesh, I think we are at the forefront of getting into these kind of destinations with all our possible brands.
Well, how big do you think religious tourism could be for Indian Hotel? I read a article in the morning which talks about the fact that for UP government, because of the religious tourism, there could be an additional kicker of nearly $1 billion. Do you think religious tourism now could be a significant part of IHCL's portfolio?
Firstly, as I said just now, it already is. Secondly, it's a great opportunity for India because, as you just now mentioned, we may be a young country, but we have the oldest history. And I think spirituality will be a key differentiator for the generations to come. And nobody has that kind of spiritual history like we have. And I think this is a very important turning point in India's history because of the importance, because of the excitement, because of bringing back something which people have waited for 500 years. And this will start a new kind of demand for spiritual sectors, which was always there. It was crisis resistant. And the only time it suffered was when we had COVID-19 and there was a lockdown. Otherwise, spiritual destinations are always very strong in demand. And they will also become conference destinations. So it will be a mixture that when you're teaching management, when you're teaching lessons from the history, there'll be no better place to do it when you can combine it with the spiritual quotient that is needed for organizations to thrive over longer term.
Ms. Shorewala, how much investment would the Vyapar Group be doing in this hotel project? Is this the first of many which could come from the Vyapar Group going forward? And are you looking at more tie-ups with the Taj Hotel?
Definitely, we are looking out for more tie-ups with Taj Hotel. This will be one of the first ones, and definitely we want to do others with them.
So, Shilpaji, if I may ask you, you should be in Ayodhya today.
But I think signing here was a milestone, and this is the day to sign on this day. I think this is the biggest thing.
Mr. Chhatwal, you just mentioned that spiritual tourism is already part of Taj's portfolio and it will increasingly grow. But in terms of how do you think this will be contributing to the overall kitty of India's tourism sector per se, not just for Taj? Do you see that this really could be a needle moving change? And just for the benefit of our viewers, I'd like to draw two very fine examples of where Taj Hotel in a sense has been managed to move the needle. The whole idea of ginger, the whole idea of luxury when it comes to palaces, throwing in a lot of safaris. There are a lot of initiatives Indian Hotel has taken in the past, which in a sense has really changed the needle for the Indian tourism sector. You became the leader and then everybody started following on the footsteps. I mean, I remember that 3 years ago you came on air and you said that for the hospitality industry, not अच्छे दिन, बहुत अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं, and now every hotel industry, both local and global, is expanding.
So, right, Nikunj, is like really the beginning and a lot of better days, even than what we see today, are yet to come because the demand is very strong and the excitement is there. A lot of Indian diaspora would be bringing their families, as an example, to come and visit such historic and spiritual sites. A lot of people would be very eager to come and see such destinations, not just today, but, for several years, decades, or a century to come. So I think, given our experience, given our footprint in the spiritual destinations, like, as I mentioned, three I just now mentioned, like, look at Banaras. I mean, we are adding 100-room block to the Taj Ganges in Banaras. We increased to the extent possible the size of Nadesa Palace, but now in the lawns we will be trying to add luxury tented accommodation because the palace, it's a heritage building, you cannot extend that. So I think there is a lot of strong demand, and also it is getting the aid from the initiatives that the government has undertaken. If you go to Kashi Vishwanath temple today versus 5, 7, 8, 10 years ago, it's a very different place. The whole access, the whole surroundings, and also getting to the core of the temple, it's very different than when I first visited that destination. Same is in Ayodhya. All that investment that is going in will encourage a lot of people to come visit besides the spiritual needs. So I think all in all these are great initiatives which are going to support the hospitality sector, the tourism sector, and in turn, the tourism and hospitality will contribute towards the GDP growth and in terms of creating direct and indirect jobs like no other sector is capable of doing.
We talk about tourists going to Rome for Vatican.
Right.
Tourists, or in this case, seekers of truth going to Saudi Arabia for Makkah.
Mecca.
Why not Ayodhya? That is the point which we need to understand, that we are a young nation, but with the old history. It is not religion, it is spirituality. It is trying to understand your heritage, it is trying to understand your culture. So it's not only a moment where we really should take a lot of pride and participate in. I think it is a time when we need to ask yourself and say that, okay, what can we learn from the life of Maryada Purushottam Ram, and how can we all become better human beings, understand, adapt, change, because this decade indeed belongs to India. While whether it is the commercial aspect of tourism or what will happen to the whole angle of new cities and infrastructure getting created, I think that is the second or the third derivative impact. But the real message here, I guess, is to understand and perhaps discover what we stand for
As a nation. In fact, Nikunj, just last evening, first time ever, I've never seen a global brokerage like Jefferies coming out with a thematic note for religious tourism in India, saying that now the numbers on Ayodhya, Kashi, as Mr. Chhatwal was also talking about, which is Banaras, can run into millions, and the numbers could catapult in a very short span of time, like the global averages you are drawing.
So, Chhatwal sir, before we wrap, last 3 years we've constantly used the word revenge travel to understand the uptick of Indian hotels and how things are moving for them. Then we started using the words of millennium travel, live only once, how they in a sense were going out for staycations. Now looks like every time when we'll meet for a quarterly update, I'll have to ask you a question on spiritual tourism.
Yeah, I think so. That will be nice. Words like revenge and tourism don't go together. Words like experience, words like, as you said, spirituality, words like excursions, words like exploratory travels. I think these are something which resonate well with me, and we are really very, very pleased, especially today with Shilpa and the ability to get so close to the Ram Temple in the new hotel that they'll be launching for us, and hopefully many more to come. And we need partners like this to make it happen. Nobody can do such a job on their own. So we need good partners, and we are very proud to have had this opportunity to do it on such an auspicious day.
Before we take a break, in chorus, let's all four of us say, Ajay, what?
Jai
Jai Shri Ram.